Hey, Shalom, Shalom, Akiyam. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah, Kodash. I would also like to give a double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, where I learned this 144% truth. I would also like to say peace and salutations to the hopeful elect, starting with the 144,000 men of Israel, which consists of the servants, the prophets, whom have been ordained since the foundations of this earth to sing this new song, which comes in the form of this gospel, which will be preached throughout all four corners of this earth and rest upon the ears of the innumerable multitude, men, women, and children of Israel, who may be scattered throughout all four corners of this earth. Shalom. Hey, shalom, shalom, beloved Akim and Akwath. It's just Bayan back again through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. All right, and this brief live stream is going to be oriented around these two circus clowns. All right, known as he goes by Priest Hakah now. He was the deacon before. Now he goes by Priest Hakah, and Brother Hassad. All right, and these are two clowns from a circus skit, is what it truly is. But I got a clip I'm gonna share with you, beloved Akim and Akwath. I'm sure you've already caught wind of it. All right, of their damnable heresy of a doctrine. All right, where they're trying to pretty much skip right over Yahweh Shai and go straight to the Father, which is a complete error. All right, for you to be one to say that you are sent by the Lord, man, because ultimately, when you go into the Old Testament, man, Yahweh Shai is prophesied all throughout the Old Testament. Okay, from Genesis to Malachi, man. When you go to Genesis 49, it tells us what? Upon Shiloh coming, then shall the gathering of the people be, man. All right, Shiloh being an epithet or a nickname or what have you, or another name for the Messiah. You see? And this is something that escapes the minds of men that truly are not in this for insincerity. You know, they're in this thing for their own arterial motives. But it's all going to come to the light at the end of the day, man. Because as prophecy continues to unfold, okay, that's going to be the determining factor regarding who the true men of the Lord were. You see, because it's going to line up. All right, it's going to line up with what the true men were saying. All right, before all hell broke loose, man, before certain prophecies took off, as it comes forth, it's going to be known who the Lord was truly dealing with, who was who. You see? Hey, this is a deadly doctrine they're teaching. Okay, and this is why we we do these lessons, being set in defense of the gospel. Okay, because there's new listeners coming in every day. All right, and these men over at the Genesis and these various congregations as well, teaching these deadly doctrines, they must be contended against. And we all got to put forth, our the calves of our lips and testify the truth openly, man, on our platforms, man. There should be a plethora of lessons contending against this madness, man. Because this is like 5-6 days ago they made this statement. And this is something he's been teaching. Priest Hakah has been teaching this, I believe, since Sakari. Yeah, since he was, you know what I mean? Because he mentioned over a decade he's been teaching, which is it's a false doctrine. It's a deadly doctrine, is what it is. It's a deadly doctrine, man. Okay? And we're going to show you how the brothers have already done lessons on it, but we're going to add our 2 cents through the spirit of how an error you men are, man. You got this dude erected on this platform they created with a toy sword. All right, not realizing, all right, that ultimately he's just pretty much fulfilling the because they're ex Sakari. You see, and we know Sakari, that word name Sakari goes back to dagger. So it's no coincidence why he's obsessed with flashing the sword in front of the camera. It's no coincidence, man. These are the same men. Okay? You see what leadership they came from under. Okay? the infamous Gorilla Hebrew, a sexual deviant. Okay, so you better believe these men, all right, are operating in a reprobate spirit on the low. You know, and everything's gonna be found out at the end of the day. But needless to say, I'm gonna play this clip. As a matter of fact, let's get a preset first. I just don't feel right grabbing this clip without a preset first. Let's grab the book of Hebrews real fast. The book of Hebrews chapter 1 and verse 1, and it reads, Power, who at sundry times and in diverse manners spake in time past unto the fathers by the prophets, have in these days spoken unto us by his Son, whom he hath appointed heir of all things, by whom also he made the worlds. Okay, and this worlds is talking to eon, which goes into spaces of time. Okay, Yahweh Shai is the creator of worlds, man, through the blueprint he received by his father Yahweh, being that he's been given all power over heaven and earth. But oh yeah, I forgot, these men don't believe in the book of Hebrews, right? The book of Hebrews isn't authoritative, right? I forgot. Anyways, we don't give a damn. It's valid, and we're gonna bring it out. I'm jumping down to verse 6. And again, when he bringeth in the first begotten into the world, he saith, and let all the angels of God worship him. Okay, so even divine entities in the form of the angels are worshiping Yahweh Shai, man. They've been commanded to worship Yahweh Shai, man. How much more you? Okay, a bald-headed nigga with a collection of new era baseball caps. Okay, because you scared to show that big bald-ass head. You see, just like your ex leader. All right, again, the infamous Gorilla Hebrew. You niggas are up there teaching with hats on, man. You got your heads covered, man. Completely disregarding what the scriptures say, man. Because you're not those men. You men are not the conduits of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. All right, you are not a conduit, which is what? A channel, right? That helps guide water. You're not them. Okay? And it shows through your fruit. You go on this last video of them speaking this madness, and you see the comments, that's their fruit. And there's even some people on there actually coming up, you know, speaking contrary to what the madness they're speaking. You know? But there's a lot more applauding them. Great lesson. Capital G, not lowercase. Y'all, this madness, man. But guess what? These are all vessels that are fit for the fire. All the undesirables. Remember, there's more 2/3 than there is 1/3. You know? So there's got to be false leaders in the form of these men and many others to bring in, all right, the majority, that's 66.6% of the undesirable Jake. You see? Let me jump here too. Let me get this too in Matthew, because hey, if the Lord Yahweh commanded the angels to worship Yahweh Shai, how much more you? How much more us, man? Of course we're supposed to worship Yahweh Shai, man. He's the way, the truth, and the life. Niggas. I'm talking about these niggas. All right, let's go ahead. Matthew 28. Let me get this and I'm going to play the video. Matthew 28 real quick. In verse 18, it reads. No, let me start up a little more. Let me start at verse 16. And it reads, Then the 11 disciples went away into Galilee, into a mountain where Yahweh Shai had appointed them. And when they saw him, they worshipped him. But some doubted, man. Okay? But some doubted. So it's no surprise that we're going to see some real-time doubting now. Okay? Didn't the scribes and the Pharisees deny the reality of Yahweh Shai's authority? Yes, they did. These men are back today. Okay? Upon the resurrection of Yahweh Shai's ministry, there's going to be a resurrection of these false prophets and these wayward congregations, man. Real time, man. The scribes are back, the Pharisees, the wicked Nicolaitans, all these niggas are back on the scene, man. With their mouth open, eyes bulging out of their head, sweating, all right? Speaking madness, all right? Look it, continuing on. And Yahushua came and spake unto them, saying, all power is given unto me in heaven and in earth. Go ye there, and that's the point. That's the point I wanted right there. You see, all power has been given to Yahushua in heaven and in earth. That's why the angels have been commanded to worship him, as we just read in Hebrews 1 and 6. You see? So you niggas are already looking like, hey, you going the wrong way. But wait, there's more. Let me play this clip real quick. Let's play the clip.
Why Hebrew Israelites should never worship Jesus Christ, Yahushua. First and foremost, let's start this off by giving all praises, honor, and glory.
And honestly, that's all we need to hear. We don't need to go any further. Okay? That's all we got to hear. His validation behind that is null and void. Because ultimately, the scriptures are contrary to what this man's talking about. And as I said before when I first opened up, okay, the Lord literally he was prophesied all throughout the Bible. All right, when you go, let me go here real quick. Let me go to Romans 14 real quick. The book of Romans chapter 14 and verse 11, and it reads, for it is written, as I live, saith the Lord, every knee shall bow to me. All right? And every tongue shall confess to power. Where is this written? It says, as it is written. Where is it written? In Isaiah. Let's go here. The book of Isaiah, chapter 45. And verse 22. And it reads, matter of fact, let me start up at verse 21. Verse 23 is the point. Now check this out. Tell ye and bring them near, yeah, let them take counsel together. Who had declared this from the ancient time? And who had told it from that time? Have not I the Lord Yahweh? Watch this. And there is no power else beside me, a just power and a savior. There is none beside me. And you get Old Testament junkies, and even individuals that say they're Israelites. Read this and and stumble. They stumble. Watch this. Look unto me and be ye saved, all the ends of the earth, for I am power, and there is none else. Listen, watch this. I have sworn by myself, the word is gone out of my mouth in righteousness. And we know the word of the Lord Yahweh is Yahushua. Watch this. And shall not return, that unto me every knee shall bow, every tongue shall swear. Okay? How is this going to be accomplished? Through Yahushua. And to further prove it, and this is why scripture says, precept must be upon precept, lines got to be upon line. That's the only way you're going to understand the scriptures. See, this is a book of the East. All right? Niggas like Hassan and Hakar and Gorilla Hebrew and Bishop Nathan, and all these guys that they don't understand that. They lose sight of the reality of the scriptures. This is not a book of the West, man. This is a book of the East. All right, that's why you you false prophets went crazy, okay, with the whole understanding the reality of, the grape doctrine, the grape doctrine reality, and you don't even know what that word means. It's the craziest part. You got it. You're looking at it through the lens of the West. Anyways, I digress. The book of Philippians, man. Okay? The book of Philippians. Let's start at verse 9. The book of Philippians chapter 2 and verse 9. Wherefore power also hath highly exalted him, and given him a name which is above every name. Okay, which his name is going into a rank. Okay? His rank. He's second in command, man. Here it is. The Lord Yahweh gave him all power. We read it. In Matthew 28, he gave him all power, man. Or in heaven and in earth. You see? Now, think about this for a second. When you go back to the time of the Persians, this just hit me. When you go back to the time of the Persians, with Xerxes, right? And Xerxes the first, and when he made Mordecai, I'm sorry, not Mordecai, Haman, damn near his right-hand man. And when Mordecai went and bowed to him, okay? What was that? That was likened unto Mordecai waging war with the king. Okay, that's why Haman was able to manipulate the situation and damn near try to have all of Jake eradicated. You see, but he was found out though. You know, but I'm just making that point. When you look at it like that, you're waging war. See, these men are waging war with Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai and don't even realize it. They're waging war with Yahweh by disregarding his main messenger, man. These niggas are crazy. Okay? They're crazy. And this is why we're bringing this out to warn you, beloved Akim and Akwaf, you sheep newly coming in, you know? You still wet behind the ears. You still divvying and dabbying. You need to be locked in, you know. But this is why we bring this out. This is why we're doing it, man. Through the Spirit. You know, the Lord's word doesn't go out void. It's going to accomplish where he sent it. You see, this work is not in vain. You see? It doesn't matter how many subscribers you got. It doesn't matter how many people are watching or don't watch. It doesn't. Hey, listen, the Spirit is going to bring this word where it needs to go. That's why the Lord created the internet. You see, this word is gonna get to where it needs to go. This the internet is worldwide. Okay, it's gonna get to where it needs to go. Somebody's gonna hear this, man. You see, that we gotta bring it out. Look, we're not done. Look, Philippians 2 and 10. That at the name of Yahweh Shai, every knee should bow, of things in heaven and things in earth and things under the earth. Why? Again, because Yahweh gave Yahweh Shai power, all power, in heaven and in earth. You see, but these men don't believe that. They don't believe it. You know? They think this thing is a game. Is what they think, ultimately. They think Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is lollygagging, is playing around with them. But we're gonna find out. Let's do this. Let's play that again. Bear with me. Hold on, I lost it.
Why Hebrew Israelites should never worship Jesus Christ, Yahweh Shai. First and foremost, let's start this off.
See, that's where he was very clear. He wasn't saying like Jesus Christ as in, you know that false Messiah. No, he clarified. He topped it up. He said Yahweh Shai. He validated who he was talking about. You see, this is the doctrine that these men are teaching. And what's funny is that ultimately, you're going to be forced to. You see? You're going to be forced to. Let me go here. Bear with me. I thought that was in John. My bad. The book of Luke. The book of Luke, chapter 19, and straight to the point. In verse 27, and it reads, "But those mine enemies, which would not that I should reign over them, bring hither and slay them before me," man. Okay, so ultimately, we're going to witness these men be judged, all right, in the days to come, man. We're going to witness it. The Lord's going to do something real special with these guys. You know, oh, you don't want to worship my son? I bet. You know, I bet. You know, we got you. The Lord's going to deal with you. You're going to be dealt with. Because you can't escape the reality, all right, of Yahweh giving authority to Yahweh Shai. It even tells you here as well. When you go to the book of Psalms, we'll probably close out with this. The book of Psalms, the 2nd chapter. I'm going to start from verse 11, and it reads, "Serve the Lord Yahweh," and it's funny, because it's going to mention Yahweh. Watch this. "Serve the Lord Yahweh with fear, and rejoice with trembling. Kiss the Son." You see? "Lest he be angry." Who? Yahweh. This is in Psalms. Okay? This is in the book of Psalms. Kiss the Son, Yahweh Shai, right? "Lest he be angry, and ye perish from the way," man. All right, backing up that Luke 19 and 27. All right, when his wrath is kindled but a little, blessed are all they that put their trust in him. Who? The Son. The Son, man. So yeah, man, hey, listen. We're not going to beat a dead dog. Is what we're not going to do. The evidence is there. There's so many more scriptures. There's so many more talking points that we can go into through the Spirit. You know, proving the validity, all right, of Yahweh Shai having to have to be worshipped, man. He is our mediator. He's playing lawyer between us and the Most High. Yahweh is not dealing with us. He's dealing with us through Yahweh Shai. All right? And on top of that, Yahweh has always dealt with a middleman. Okay? Always. You see? Since sun-dry times, man. All right? All the way in the garden, man, with Adam and Eve. Adam and Eve were dealing with a prophet. Okay? When they were speaking to the Lord. All right? But that's another lesson for another time, because that's going to go over somebody's head. You know? But that's the reality, man. That's what do you think Hebrews 1 and 1 is talking about? You see? The Lord has dealt with he always dealt with the middleman, man. You know, for you people, for you Jake are psychotic, man, to think that you can truly go directly to Yahweh. Okay? And just skip rank. Nah, man. Hey, you got to go through the proper channels. All right? And efforts to be able to communicate, all right, with that divine one. And as the Lord said in, I think that's John, all right? No one can come to the Father. I'm sorry. No one can come to the Son unless the Father draw them. The Father has to draw you to the Son. So guess what? If you're not dealing with Yahweh Shai, if you have a mindset where you're disregarding Yahweh Shai, Yahweh is damn sure not dealing with you, because you've yet to be drawn to his Son. So you automatically cancel it out at that point. You see? So I'm going to leave you with that, beloved Akiyam and Akwab. Hey, Lord willing, you were edified. Lord willing, you were spiritually fed through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Abaratazah. Hey, stay prayed up, fast as well as pray. All right? Hey, enjoy your Friday, man. Lord willing, you know, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai is with you. You know, wherever you may be. Hey, stay prayed up. You already know, again, fast as well as pray, man. Stay locked in. Stay locked in. And your God, beloved brother, hey, Lord willing, I'm going to be in Boston this Sunday with the garments for you and the Ak. I had some stuff going on my own end. I had some things I had to deal with. I meant to come last week, but it was impossible. But needless to say, Lord willing, me and the Akiyam, You know, we'll be up there. We'll be up there Sunday. All right, Lord willing, we got you. No worries, brother. You already know. It's all to the spring of power. How about you, man? Shine, beloved. Okay, you already know. Hey, and with that, all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah Quadash. Hey, double honors to the elders and apostles of the Great Millstone, where I learned this 144% truth. Hey, Lord willing, you beloved Akiyam and Akwath will edify. Hey, Shalom.